All right. Welcome back to another episode of Mitten Athletics Live. We are here today. We have a special guest again, which is awesome, 2 in a row. But we appreciate you all joining us and hope that you've enjoyed the previous episodes. And please go back and give a listen if you're interested in some different stuff. But today we have Lee. He is with us from Flint Powers. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. Lee, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And actually, real quick, Lee is, we always talk about people reaching out, wanting to join. If you have comments or want to join the podcast, Lee is that. Lee reached out after being a listener and said, hey, if you guys are looking for people, I'd love to join. So this right here is an example of, if you want to join the podcast, come talk about whatever. If you have a topic, whatever it is, we'd love to talk through it. So anyway, Lee, can you introduce yourself, who you are, where you come from?
Will do. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. I discovered the podcast 8 or 9 months ago, and I was actually really enjoyed the more recent podcast episodes so much. I actually went back and listened to the entire archive. I do something entertain while I was at work, but you guys do a fantastic job. Your enthusiasm for the sport is contagious. And
thank you.
Right to a few of our track parents that we have at Powers, and just keep up the good work.
We appreciate that.
And my name is Leo Foley Jr., my family often calls me Lee because my dad is Leo Sr. Leo Sr. is actually the head coach at Flint Powers, and my responsibility is the sprints and relays and jumps on occasion. So about my background, I ran at Aquinas College out in your guys' neck of the woods.
Yep.
I ran under the great Mike Wojciechowski and Dave Wood. Dave Wood, who's been nominated for the Aquinas College Hall of Fame, which we're all very excited about, well-deserved honor. I was a senior on the 2004 national runner-up team at Aquinas, and then I became a high school track coach. I coached 1 year at Howell High School. And when I was a student teacher, I spent 3 years as a teacher in Georgia where I coached track. Then I went to law school. I'm a practicing attorney now. And since 2011, I have coached the sprints, jumps, and hurdles at Flint Powers. And we've just had a lot of fun over the last decade plus. And this year, we took the 4x1, the 4x2, and the 4x4 to Nike Outdoor Nationals. It was a trip that exceeded our expectations. Amazingly, we put all 3 relays on the podium in the championship races, and which was just, if you told me going in, if we put one of them on, I would have taken that deal. But one thing I was especially intrigued about is I saw your guys' performances in 2025, and I was looking through your races and everything you've done this season. It's one of the challenges we had, which I'm sure you guys dealt with too, and probably get into a little more, was the 3-week gap between the state meet and Nike Nationals.
That's what I want to talk about. So yeah, keep going.
And so I was like, well, Byron Center could do that. If we just do 90% of what they did, then we'll be in pretty good shape. And part of me is can't wait to go again, but part of me never wants to go again.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little bit of my background, a little bit about what we did this season.
I want to start by saying I love that you, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I love that you're not a teacher and also able to coach as somebody else who is also not a teacher or not in the school district and able to coach. I love hearing more people that can make that happen in different realms. So that's awesome.
It should be noted that in Michigan, I think we're lucky that we can do that, because I learned that in Georgia, I think it's Georgia, somebody I was on Twitter with just talking, coaches have to be in the school, is what I learned.
Oh,
wow,
there's some states that the state association requires that coaches be teachers. Which is another whole nother conversation.
Yeah, no
regarding
kidding.
Qualifications and stuff. But anyway,
I'd love to talk about that in a future episode. But yes, I just love seeing it because there's probably more of us than I know, but there aren't enough of us, and it's hard to do when you're not in the school, and it's hard to do when the times don't always line up. So it's always good to hear.
Yeah, I have a couple advantages there. One, I am self-employed, so I can kind of set my own hours as long as I keep my clients happy.
Yep.
Still, and I have a very, very supportive spouse who's also a competitive runner, and she coaches. She just started this year coaching cross country at Goodrich. So it's
good Very cool.
So she knows the sport.
Are you involved with cross at all?
I used to be, but not as much as I was a few years ago. With a young son, it became very difficult on a time basis because historically we always condition in the evening, and then I go to work, and then I wouldn't get home till 8 o'clock. I realized I want to see my family 4 days a week,
and then it's year round, right?
So it becomes year round. When my son gets a little bit older, I'm sure I'll come back to cross country. But
is your dad involved in cross too?
my dad is involved. He's there, I would say, probably most days, 4 to 5 days a week.
So, my running buddy is Drew Collette, who was East Grand Rapids' Rapids coach until he resigned after this past season. And so I was there through the fall with him on morning runs as we built up to the D2 state meet for cross last year. So
that was quite the year we had with East GR. That was a incredibly exciting state meet, and we pulled out a narrow victory over East GR, which could have gone either way. And Drew certainly a fantastic job with his group and has done for years. Shame he's no longer coaching.
Yeah, if anybody's wondering, he same thing. Kids, he actually teaches at my son's school at Oakstown Intermediate PE, and so driving across town, he's got 3 young girls. It just a phase of life thing. So anyway, so nationals, at what point in the season did you guys start thinking of doing this? Was this did you guys know the group that you had coming in, all known quantities, or did things start coming together during the MHSAA season, causing you to start considering what you could do?
A little bit of both. Honestly, it wasn't really on my radar. 2 of our distance runners, Lennox Naswell and Bryce Gross, had actually gone out to NON the year before, so we certainly known about it. But as far as taking the sprint relays, honestly, it wasn't really on my radar until one of our runners, a young man named Hudson Miller, started putting a bug in my ear. He had 2 cousins. One of his cousins was Noah Sage, who was a former MSU 400-meter runner. I think he just finished up his eligibility. He could compete out there, and his cousin had been harping in his ear how cool it was and what a great experience it was. So if I had to pick one for us, I'd definitely say it was Hudson kind of got the bug in everybody's ear about getting everything going. And then, once – and the backpacks. The guys want the backpacks, of course. And Hudson had a backpack from his cousin, so he's hauling around, the 2019 backpack.
The NON backpack, or the New Balance backpack, it's the high school version of the Boston Marathon jacket.
Absolutely. So I guess as our season progressed and we started dropping times, it became a little more on our radar. And we'd actually originally thought about going to Adidas in North Carolina, but it filled up first. So that was actually the best of possible worlds, because we had to go to Nike Outdoor Nationals, and it ended up being just Eugene versus North Carolina. I mean, come on. No disrespect to Riley or to North Carolina, but
no disrespect to North Carolina, and I haven't looked at the standards, but I'm not sure. Did you guys look at the New Balance standards at all?
Yeah, we only got only our 4x2 qualify for the championship race.
It's definitely, I think it definitely goes New Balance,
Nike,
and then as far as prestige goes, they played it up on. These meets are getting played up on social media way more every year. Yeah, but I still, Adidas, I don't think comes close. So it's awesome that you guys got out there.
I personally think that comes into different events, though. I think for sprints, yes. I think New Balance is the premier, if you will. But I think that there's different events where Nike is the premier. And I also think it depends on, all these kids talk online, and they end up saying, okay, we're all going to go to New Balance this year. We're all going to go to Nike this year. They can make whichever one the premier that they want, right?
Yeah, I think the big challenge of Nike is it's hard to get to Eugene.
100%.
It is.
And you can put, from Michigan, we could put 6 kids in a van and drive them to Philadelphia without too much problem. Can't do that in Eugene.
Yeah. And we, in our first year going to nationals, was going to New Balance, and that was exactly it. we all drove out there, and it's a 6-7 hour drive. It's not that bad. You find a house somewhere just outside of Philadelphia. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. So, and before I forget, Aaron and I need to throw a huge shout out to our sprint coach, CJ, because he's really the one that spearheads it. Not that I'm not interested in the national events, but I'm personally very focused on getting through our spring season.
Yep. Same.
And so like he willingly, gladly takes on the organization for if we do national stuff. He does a great job with that. And it's kind of the same. Our style is, we're going to focus on our state meet, and when kids start, hitting qualifying times, we start talking to them, talking to parents. And if it seems like we got a big enough group, then it all comes together. So in your, and like, what's the general philosophy of your guys' program? Do you, first of all, do you have a conference or a league? How do you approach regionals? You guys are Division II. So it's a little, how competitive is the region that you guys are in?
Well, we had 3 of the top.
You guys finished pretty good at the state meet this year. So what were your thoughts going into all that stuff?
Division II is, it's a little step down from Division I, but our region was Powers, Elma, Saginaw, Swan Valley, and Frankenmuth. 4 very, very strong schools. It was kind of a bloodbath. My goal is always win the conference, win the region, compete for the state title. And we've fallen short on that third goal essentially every year. But you want to see your standards out there. Elma or Frankenmuth just had too much depth. They had very good sprinters, great distance runners, incredibly strong throwers, and I'm pretty certain we couldn't get them at regionals. So our goal as a coaching staff began to put our kids in as strong a position as they could to compete well at the state meet. We put 3 relays in the podium, and we had a fourth or fifth in the 200. So it was a good day.
It's awesome.
And no one's going to complain about that. But we had a couple unfortunate injury to start the season out of returning all-stater in the 15 and the 8 that he made the state meet, which is considering he had knee surgery in March. That's pretty amazing.
Wow.
And then our top distance runner was unfortunately sidelined for the state meet because of
I was wondering about that
issue. So he's fine now, but it was the right decision by all parties. But he was out there supporting his teammates, and his parents were too. And but it was just one of those things. So leaving the state meet, we had this great day, but felt like a little bit unfulfilled. So I'm glad that we were able to kind of rally the group and compete at nationals, which really capped off an amazing season.
Yeah.
We're also we're in the Saginaw Valley Conference, and we enroll about 550 kids, and we're competing against Grand Blanc with 2,400, Midland Dow, Midland, 1,000, Bay City Western. So we're the small.
And so your conference then it crosses divisions too, which a lot of them do. But like currently, everybody in ours is D1. Our previous conference crossed D1 and D2. But yeah, when in you said Grand Ledge, you said
no Grand Blanc.
Not 5 times the size though. That is a big difference.
Of course, Powers being a Catholic school, historically we've had slightly higher participation rates among the student body than other schools, but not always, but it usually is. Dave Wolbert, our head cross country coach, and I like to joke that we're the Ohio State of Michigan high school cross country because we won the state championship, but we could not win our conference. Midland and their fantastic coach Andrew Blue, they beat us on a 6-man tiebreaker at our conference meet this past fall.
That happened to so in the D1 level, Kalamazoo Central when they won the D1 state track meet. And they same thing. I think they came. I don't know if they were runner up or if they came in third, but same thing. They didn't win their conference. But that's just kind of the funny way the sport works, right? Like
absolutely.
You add 10 teams that you'd never seen before, and the points spread out just like that. So
I blame Mike Krongeyer from Davison because one of his guys got one of our guys in the last 50 meters, and that was the one more point we needed.
man.
So Mike was just trying to spoil our title.
Mike can't catch he can't go a day without catching a stray somehow.
No, absolutely not.
So your season was pretty good. At what point, like, were you guys like signed up, ready to go at the point of regionals or between regionals and states, or
after the state meet?
After the state meet?
After the state meet.
Okay.
Wow.
So we had our state. I was states on Saturday, and then we had our athletic banquet on Monday. And the guys were blowing up my phone. Coach, we got to get signed up. We got to sign up. So I was like, all right. So we're having our team banquet on Monday. You guys show up a half hour early. We'll look at all the standards. We'll see if we can make this work. So they showed up. Most of their parents showed up, and we sat down and had a meeting. And that night, we figured out real quick New Balance was filled. And so then that night, I registered us for Nike. The 4x1, the 4x2 got in right away. And then I think I had to wait for a week or so for the 4x4 to get accepted.
Okay.
Interestingly, we didn't hit the championship standard for the 4x4, but we must have been in the top 24 because they put us in the championship field.
So we have learned throughout the years that there are certain ways that you can play the system a little bit, and we have had kids that get into championship races that shouldn't be, or according to the numbers that they post, shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
And
register early.
That's it. A lot of it comes from registering early, and so we have changed a little bit of how we go about it, and a lot of it comes from CJ of pushing it early in the season. But the kids that we know, right? A lot of our relays and stuff we don't know till you get closer to the end, but there's a lot of kids, individuals, stuff like that, where the conversation that will be had early on in the season, like, are you interested in this if it comes up, especially if they have qualified in the past? Like, hey, assuming that you're going to qualify again, would you be interested in going? And we kind of start that conversation early, and then we register early. And then kind of go from there. Some kids will register early and we'll say, okay, their parents, or they decide they don't want to go. You just remove them. We try not. You don't want to remove late, but as soon as they're not going to go, you take them out. But at least if you register early, we feel like there's a higher chance of people getting in, because early on they don't know who's going to register, so they're more. I think they feel more apt to accept early. But
yeah, we'll definitely. So anybody out there, talk to your kids early and try to plan early and register as soon as you have a qualifying mark, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they're interested, right? That's where it gets hard, because also don't want to register early if the kid's like, I'm not going no matter what, and then you register them and they're like, no, I'm still not going. Like that doesn't help anybody either.
No,
but
taking a spot away from somebody else.
Correct, and as long as you remove them on time, they'll always bring somebody in, but it always gets tricky when you have a kid that's on the line. We had one kid this year that was merging elite, and they got moved up to championship and then moved back down to emerging elite, and we're like, what is happening? Just pick one or the other, or if you move them once, just move them and keep them there. But it was just kind of this weird, like, how do you set up a schedule when you have no idea when he's actually competing?
Right. That, and then especially the logistics come to play too.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to have a little certainty there. It's pretty serious planning goes into this whole thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you had to find hotels or Airbnbs or whatever, and flights and everything quickly.
On the plus side, I had three sets of parents that were heavily involved. Shout out to the Millers, the Roberts, and the Celos, who we couldn't on the trip without them. I mean, they were heavily involved with all facets of planning.
That's what it takes, right? Like I don't know. It's easy for me to say because for one thing, it's not football or basketball. So generally, in my experience, like parents they exceed expectations as far as like their behavior stuff goes, right? But we have had very good parents, and when other coaches, other sport coaches complain about parents, it's like, I just form good relationships, and then these really cool things can happen, and that's what it takes.
Yeah, we every once in a while we have a couple fun ones, but I mean, the good outweighs the bad by, I don't know, 20-1.
Yeah.
Did you have any? So I always feel like our biggest struggle, I'd say ours, CJ's biggest struggle, especially with relays, is getting all parties on board to go.
Oh, absolutely. That was
Did you-
certainly the biggest struggle we had.
Yeah.
Especially we had so sending your 16 or 17-year-old across the country with coaches who you've kind of known for a couple of years, but they're not family. That's a big deal. That's a big step. So myself and the other parents who were going out on the trip, we had conversations with the parents of some of the other kids that were making the trip, and reassured everybody we'd keep a good eye on them, and had to count on mature young men to make good decisions over the entire time we were out there. And for the most part, well, actually for the entirety, they did not disappoint me. They were, very, very, they did a great job. They were credits to their family, their community, and their school the entire time we were out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
What grades are, how many are in the pool? Is it the same boys?
We took six boys on six guys on three on the 4x1, the 4x2, and the 4x4. One guy, Roberts, who was a senior, he tripled. He was the fourth place finisher in the 200. I think 21.63. So I mean, he's a good runner. Going to Detroit Mercy next year. Nice. And it's a junior named Jace Beauchamp. He tripled as well. And I've coached all his old. He's the youngest of 4 or 5 boys. I've coached a bunch of his siblings. So that was a pretty well-known factor to me. I know he's coming since like 5th grade. And then one guy went 4x1, 4x2. Another guy went 4x4, 4x2. And then we had one guy just in the 4x4, one guy just in the 4x1.
Okay.
How many are coming back next year?
4 of them are coming back.
That's awesome.
One guy with the 4x1's gone. Who was Mr. Reliable, Mr. Team, Brecon-Selo, and then the anchor leg on the 4x1, 4x2, 4x4. He's pretty similar to your anchor leg from your 4x4 in 2025. I got lucky with him, and it'll be tough to replace.
That's hard.
But like you do, right? You've been doing this long enough. Like you probably know what I'm saying. Like how are we gonna replace this kid? And maybe you don't replace the times immediately, but as far as like leadership and the spot on the team and personality, like there's always the next kids, and it just happens.
And I'm losing his dad too, who's his dad. Shout out to Kerry Roberts, who's a listener of your podcast, who literally drove the bus all week for us when we were out.
Well, and I double down on that. Like there is a big thing with parents who have been around and parents who are fully committed in general. Just like that is a huge loss. Like you said, I mean, losing the athletes is hard. Losing the parents is not easy either. The ones who are truly invested and truly are there to help out, want to be a part of it. That's not easy either. So
agreed completely. It's you build the relationships, and then they're off to college with their kids.
Yep. And the ones who are always there volunteering, and the ones who are always there as the voice of reason and Yep.
Over the years, we've been lucky enough to retain several of our former parents who are now volunteer or assistant coaches or whatever. So we've been, that's about a third of our coaching staff there.
Well, that's awesome. Amazing.
So what would you recommend? We talked about like early registration already, but like, if you were talking to a coach who had never been to nationals, what would be like a few pointers that you would give them?
If I could do it again, I would certainly maybe what we did is we planned out the schedule. We looked at when all the events are. We figured out when we had to be at the stadium. We figured out who was taking whom to the stadium. We figured out when we were going to do workouts. We mapped out, like we raced on Thursday, and we had a little bit of an off day on Friday. So we treated that. We went out to a local track, and actually 4 or 5 other schools were there at the track working out at the same time as us.
Which one?
A middle school about 2 miles north of downtown Eugene.
Okay.
It was an incredibly nice track. I don't remember the name of it.
No, that's right.
Did a workout there, and then head out to the coast, had a little bit of fun. And, I guess part of it was, I think, the guys were climbing up and down sand dunes and messing around and doing things 16-year-olds. always do. And part of me is like, should I yell at these guys? And guys, you got to race the 4x1 tomorrow. We're trying to finish in the podium. And I thought about it. I was like, we're only going to be here once, and they're going to be fine. So I left them alone. And clearly, it worked out because they ran awesome the next day. Took 2/10 off our best and made the finals. So I guess just enjoy the entire experience. I guess plan as much as you can possibly plan. Find parents to help with the planning, and enjoy the entire time. And don't over coach the kids once you get there. Just let them enjoy the experience and tell them to get out there.
Mm-hmm. It's harder to overcoach because it's a pretty professional setting, right? So like they are herded stadium.
Absolutely amazing.
It's very hard to like if we thought that our state meet was restrictive this year, like that national meet is, they are on the track and they are off the track. And yeah,
it was amazing. It was amazing watching them in operation out there. That was a well-run meet.
Yeah,
it is. They know what they're doing. They know how to keep it moving. They know how to keep it smooth, even when stuff comes up. Like it is like boom, boom, boom. We'll roll with the punches. But yeah, I love how they operate. And I know that kind of contradicts everything we've ever said about not wanting to be on the infield at the state meet. But I think it's a little different. It's different.
That's where it is. Like it is modeling the NCAA or the U20s are there, right? It's modeling actual, but it's also like in a setting where you can do that because it's a track stadium.
Well, I agree.
A track stadium is so much different than a football stadium.
I just know that somebody will jump on saying, well, yeah, but you guys are the ones that said, like, yes, I agree. But
there's also sight lines, and you can talk to the kids that are at the long jump pit from the seats. And yeah,
I'm in complete agreement. But then when I watched, the coach from Texas A&M, yelling at or coaching up his long jumper from the stands, I'm like, okay, I guess I get it now.
Yeah, it is tough, but you're right, Colin. When you set up a stadium built for track and there's places to be able to watch every event easily, it's different.
So briefly hit it. There's a bunch of days between our state meet and nationals. Like, what was your approach to training between states and your flight?
This was the hardest part. So essentially, I guess 18 days, I believe, between the state finals and
so long
when we left. 17. So the underclassmen had finals week the week after. So I basically gave them all the week off after the state meet. And then we play pretty well with the other coaches, and the sprinters, the underclassmen are some of the key players in the football team. The football coaches, of course, wanted them to start doing summer workouts and whatnot. So essentially what I did is and then a couple of the kids have jobs and family obligations. One of my seniors had a pre-planned week-long hiking trip with his older brother in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. Fortunately, his older brother was the captain of my 2024 team and one of the greatest kids ever coached. So I said, Baylor, here's the workouts. Do what you can do.
Yep.
And he clearly did it because he ran awesome. So with the football players, I essentially gave them, I knew what they were doing. The football coach worked great with us. So I gave them workouts to add on to what they were doing in football. And then we met up as a group for a few key workouts, though I was never able to get all 6 boys in the same place.
Yep, that very much mirrors our experience. Like I guess CJ still takes care of all the sprint workouts, but it was that he would always give me the debriefs, like, oh yeah, he was here today, he wasn't here, I haven't heard from this kid. And same fights, so it's a universal problem.
And we basically had a Google spreadsheet. They all had access to it, and they had them try to update their work, and then relentlessly hassled them until they put something down. But
then again, like it's also to me, it's also a long season, and this is where like the club versus school thing can come into play because to me, I think it's an awesome icing on the cake situation.
Mhm.
And we want to stay as fit as we can for those few weeks and go, perform as well as we can. And you guys got some podium finishes. We've had some podium finishes. But everybody meeting up another 5 days a week for another 3 weeks, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. So we all kind of need a little bit of a break from each other, right? And make it work how we can.
Yep. And that's exactly I think it's the only way to do it.
I think too, it becomes hard, if you want to start looking at if you're truly trying to figure out how to peak kids and hold a peak for a long time, that also becomes difficult too, is how do you hold a peak for that long? If you're trying to peak through state meet and then through nationals, okay, that's one thing, but that's a top tier kid who doesn't need to peak at regionals, and that he's going to make it out, right? Now, AQs have helped that a little bit. So you can kind of, if you really work down you want to peak a kid, and when do you peak them? Peaking for a state meet and then holding it for a month is a little bit easier than peaking for a regional and then holding it for 6 weeks. But, you assume most of your kids that are going to make it to the state meet and also make it to the national meet, and when you want to compete at both, probably can do that.
Right. Yeah. One thing in our particular circumstance that helped us a lot was one of my guys had mono and missed a month in the middle of the season. So he definitely peaked nationals.
Okay.
He was just starting to get back into moderate fitness by the time we came to states.
That does, yeah.
So that's one, no one can control that or plan for it or coach for it.
Nope. And the hard part with saying that is that, even the way you just said it is, there's a reason why you hear some of these kids who don't open till later in the season. I know it's not super popular, but there are kids who won't open until halfway through the season. And it's like, this isn't the national circuit. This isn't the professional circuit. Like, you're still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still a high school season. I get that, you want to go and compete at nationals, but there are very few who are truly trying to be I'm competing at nationals and then also, worlds and everything else, or U20 Pan Am games like that. That's a hard thing to hit.
Yeah, maintaining the fitness for that time period is takes a special kid at that level.
Yep. So with the group that you have, knowing that you lost 2 of your 6, do you have intention? Well, maybe not intentions. Do you have thoughts that you guys would go back next year to one of the 3, or you would like to?
It's so hard to say. I would certainly like to, and I'm sure what I typically do is I sit down with my team leaders sometime after fall sports ends, and we kind of map out what we want to do. And I kind of know how that discussion's already going to go. I'm pretty sure they're going to want to go back. But, senior year, especially, I'm going to have a bigger group of seniors this year. Senior year gets busy.
Yep.
Maybe some of the kids just want to run the state meet and be done and enjoy their open houses and not worry about track.
It's hard enough sometimes getting even some of the best seniors through the spring season.
Yep, absolutely. So I guess I don't know. It's certainly on the table with 4 of 6 return kids coming back. We potentially be good to very good. I don't know if we'd be better because the kids we lost were pretty special. The kids who graduated were pretty special, but I would not be opposed to a return trip.
It's one of those places that you go once and the first time is amazing, but every other time is still amazing.
Still amazing. This is the first time I'd ever been.
And me too.
The expectations for me.
Oh, it is. It's awesome.
Any other nationals items you guys have on your minds?
It's just enjoying the entire experience is, pretty key. You can go out there, and if you have one bad exchange, you got to go to enjoy the entire trip, not just look for one good race.
Yep. And I will say, going to both New Balance and Nike, as a throws coach, I like Nike better. I can see why people like New Balance. but I would love to hear from somebody who has been to Adidas or even this year with the new Under Armour one. Like, I would love to
I
know,
don't want to
like,
hear about that one.
I still would like to know.
I don't want to hear about that one. That's all.
You know what? If you went, reach
Just
out,
jumping on the
so we can-
bandwagon.
just so we can upset Colin. Reach out.
Under Armour is not a track brand.
I would love to hear about Adidas though and see what people's thoughts are, just because I know that some people went there and some people like to go because maybe it was the easy way to find, you know, a little bit less competition but still a high level. Some people, it was the easy way to get in because it was easier to drive, right? Like like you said, Nike is not easy to get to. So I would just love to know like people's thoughts on that. We've never been. I'm not opposed to going, but we have never been there, so I don't know anything about it.
So you said you changing gears here. You coach sprints, hurdles, and long jump.
And the jumps, though, I've got a couple. That was my original job, but we've got a couple parents that have become coaches that have kind of taken over the long jump. One of our coaches, Sherry Zorn, still holds her high school records, the 100, the 200, the 400, the long jump. So the long jump has become more of her province than mine. Happy to turn that over to her.
Well, yeah. So the question is like, how do you manage?
We have a large coaching
groups?
staff.
Yeah. How big is so you said you got about 500 kids in the school.
About 500 kids in the school.
How big is how many boys, how many girls do you have on the team?
Typically, we have around 45 to 55 boys and usually around 30 to 35 girls. So our girls numbers were a little bit down this year. I found that girls sports in the spring is difficult because we have soccer, softball, lacrosse.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, tennis is extremely popular at Powers. And
ours is too. Yeah.
40 girls in the tennis team.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
So
for us, boys and girls tennis, there's like 40 to 50 tennis boys, and I'm trying so hard to recruit for boys cross country because we only got 20. Yep. Right. So it's like, come on.
Yeah. How
many potential good runners are on that tennis team right now?
A whole bunch of them.
Lots of them. So what's your kind of like your style then to manage like sprinters and hurdlers when they're getting, you know, key workouts in, and how you're making sure, you know, both groups are getting fed the right way?
Typically we start out with the same. We do a little more extensive roamer per team. We actually, I don't know if you guys remember Ken Domaris from Flint Powers and Ainsworth. He joined our staff a couple of years ago, and we've been blessed to have him. I think he won 4 state titles at Carmen. So he's kind of leads our pretty extensive first 45 minutes of practice. And that's everybody, the distance runners, the sprinters, the hurdlers, the jumpers all together.
Yep.
And then after that, we typically break out. The distance runners go with Dave. The sprinters, jumpers, and hurdlers come with me, and I'll split some of them off with like our best high jumpers. Of course, she's on the relays and she's running the 400. So she only gets 1 or 2 days a week to jump. So then typically we'll run, whatever the workout of the day is. But I've kind of found over the course of my career that and especially on the sprint side, it's more management between races. When we have a league meet on Tuesday, and then we're coming back in a big invitational on Saturday or Friday or whatever. So when I break down my season schedule, I always write up a training plan for the season. And when I get down to it, I probably got like 6 real good workout days in the course of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then it seems like I lose 1 or 2 of them because it's hailing in that day in May or whatever.
Yep.
So I think like Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. So we're pretty flexible with our training plans. We have certain core things we do, our mile run, our hurdle mobility, our plyometrics, our core strength every single day. And then, whatever the workout that is appropriate to prepare for that part of the season.
Curious, just from standpoint of throws, so you guys having a, call it mid 50s, 60s kid team, how many throwers do you guys have comparatively to that?
Throwers, we typically have, I guess, 8 to 10 throwers.
Pretty good. Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
We've had the same throws. The throws coach is a guy named Jim Newman, who he was actually the head track coach. I went to Powers too when I was running track for Powers in the 90s. And he's had great success over the years.
Love that.
And he just retired teacher, won't leave. We never wanted to leave. And had you might remember this name, Aaron being a MSU guy. Do you remember Antonio Smith?
Yep.
His daughter, Eva Smith, was an all-state shot putter for us this year.
Oh, really?
Yep. So
that's awesome.
She's only a sophomore, and Jim's super excited about 2 more years with her.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Does she have aspirations to also follow in her dad's footsteps?
I think she's a great basketball player too.
Okay.
So I think that would be her dream, but
Sure.
I'm not qualified to give you a good rating on somebody's the level of college basketball they can play at.
Nope. That's okay. Oh, that's cool.
She started since she was a freshman in the basketball team too. And I know she's a great player. And this year she ran the 4x1 and 4x2, and she was all state in the shot put. So that tells you what kind of athlete she is.
Athlete, just
Also,
nice capital A athlete.
I love that. This is going back and going down the rabbit hole, but there was a girl, and I couldn't tell you her name, but this was back when I first started coaching for Byron, who went to, I believe it was Hamilton. And she might have won shot put and was also like made the finals in the 100, made the finals in the 200. She might have made the finals in the long jump. She was just a freak athlete. And I just love seeing it. Like it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, yeah, just fun when you get a great athlete able to. That's one of the beauties about track. One beautiful thing about track, you get a great athlete, and athletes are going to athlete no matter where you go.
Yep. Is it time for the fun questions?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
No, I didn't preface him. So,
Aaron, take it away.
All right. So let's start with everyone has opinions on MHSA and MICA, and what if anything would you like to see changed with the track season or the cross season?
The cross or the track season, if we could push the state final, I think we've heard this a couple times. If we could push the state finals a couple weeks later, that'd be wonderful. Just give us an opportunity to compete in a little better weather.
Okay.
Just like baseball, just like softball, just like the argument is you're going to lose your seniors. Baseball does it, softball does it, soccer does it.
I don't understand that argument because every other sport has it. Any other MHSAA, not necessarily.
Let the coaches go on the infield on the state finals.
Yeah,
we know that one. Yep.
No, other than that, I think I really approve of the move they made with the EQ. That was well needed. Just
yes,
very well done, and the way they handled and the way that the adjustments they made this year were I applaud them all. I think the MHSA did a wonderful job with that, so I'm pretty happy. Again, I knew I had a great group of guys coming back, so we planned out our season. Okay, we got these 5 shots to EQ. We make sure we take care of it before regionals, so we're not worried about a drop stick. Keep us on the state finals.
Yep.
So that worked out. I'm sure you guys had similar plans this year and the year before too with your relays.
Yes.
Other than that, I don't think anything too much. I love having all 4 divisions in the same space. Love to watch D1 after we watch our guys race. 2-day state meet. Obviously, that's a pretty popular point by track coaches too. That'd be fantastic.
Yep.
If we could do a 2-day prelims and some of the throws and one of the distance races on Friday and the finals on Saturday, that'd be incredible. But I don't know if we're ever going to get that change. Expenses and logistics. Other things, I guess if I was king, would I change? Not too much. I think overall, I'd add the javelin. I would love to see the javelin in Michigan. No on the triple jump, but absolutely yes in the javelin.
No on the triple jump. All right.
On the triple jump. The javelin would just be, it would give the throwers another event. I loved watching the javelin when I was in college too. It's just a fun race, a fun event to see.
It's not going to happen, but I'll ask, what about hammer?
I don't know enough about the hammer.
Okay,
I know we had
that's fair.
one of my college teammates was awesome at the hammer, but sure, if we're gonna add the javelin, let's add the hammer too.
Okay, I'll take it. Logistically, that one it prices itself out very quickly. So,
how many scholarships do you get to give out a year? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And why
It was
is
up to
it
me.
100%?
No, I can attest for the biggest evidence I can tell you that we don't give out scholarships is our football team went 0-9 last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're not Detroit Catholic Central.
no comment.
No.
I posted this on Instagram on the story a few hours ago, but I saw an Instagram post from I'm just say a track athlete, and it said transfer portal on it.
I saw that one too.
And I was like, what are we doing here, kid?
Yeah.
Like we don't got to play this game.
No.
Yeah, over the years, kids have transferred to Powers, and it's for various reasons. What Dave Wolbert and Leo Senior and myself always consisted. There's a million great reasons to come to Powers. The biggest one would be Catholic education, but strong academics, absolutely. But there's a lot of places, but don't transfer just for athletics.
Yeah.
You transfer because you want a faith-based Catholic education.
Yeah. I think unfortunately not everybody in the realm that you're in shares the same sentiment.
Yeah.
Not saying through Powers, just generically.
I won't argue with you on that point.
All right, so we have kind of brought up the topic of the team state meet before. I want to get your opinion. Do you like the idea that MHSAA could potentially?
Not really. I kind of
on
agree with Jeff Hollabaugh on that one. Track's about the stars. To win a state meet in track, you got to have some stars.
I like that. I like that explanation. I like that.
We went to MICTA this year, and for the past several years, we've taken a group of kids to Distance Fest in Grand Rapids. They love it.
Mm-hmm.
And we can run 15 kids, however many want. And we had nine qualifiers for the regional 2-mile this year. So we go to MICTA. Well, cross country state champs, we better have that many.
Yep.
We go to MICTA, I can only run 3. So I went to MICTA this year. We as a team went to MICTA this year because I wanted the reps and the relays. And we basically took about 12 kids to MICTA, but I knew that it was either going to be when you see Frankenmuth pull up with 3 buses full of kids, and when you see I can't remember somebody else pull up with 3 buses full of kids, one of them's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a numbers game. Now, I don't think we could have beaten Frank. We could not have beaten Frankenmuth even if we had every single kid. But if we brought the entire team, plan on it from day one, we could have had a more competitive showing. Absolutely. But they're just too good this year.
Yeah.
So I don't really like the idea of the MICTA format as it's currently stated, deciding a state title. And I think having the MICTA team state championship as well as MHSA state titles is a nice compromise for how we currently do things.
Yep. I agree.
I'm on that page.
I like the way it's set right now.
I think it's just it's the same art for me as a public school coach. It's the same argument for both the private versus public and the state title discussion. Like, okay, I'm just gonna get better at my job.
Right? Yeah, I like that one.
If I'm competing with South Christian for athletes, okay, cool. This kid went to South instead. Fine, go to South.
Yep.
I got these kids in my building, and we're gonna do the best job we can.
Yep. And like my wife coaches at Goodrich, and they were state champs in girls basketball this year. They were state champs in cross country on the women's side the year before, and I think they came in second in soccer this year. So I mean, they're a powerhouse too. So I often hear the argument Catholic schools or private schools should get a multiplier. Should schools like Goodrich get a multiplier too because they win too much?
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly.
Especially, I'm beating a dead horse here, but school of choice is very much leveled the playing field. Powers, anyone can go to Powers, but you got to pay the tuition.
Right.
Right. What would you say is probably, or I guess give us one big hot take for the sport in general?
Hot take for sport in general. Have a high school decathlon.
Yes,
I like that.
I am in. I wouldn't even call it
Give
a hot
us
take.
a,
I would love that.
I read an autobiography, or not an autobiography, a biography of Bo Jackson. And apparently in Alabama, when he was in high school, they had a separate decathlon state championship. How cool would that be?
It would be
And they
amazing.
do it like 2 weeks after the state meet. And that would just be awesome.
And we were talking about this before. I'm pretty sure that Rhode Island runs a separate one for both the heptathlon and decathlon, and they also run a separate hammer champ. And I love how they do it. It's completely separate, different day. Don't make it the same thing, but you acknowledge it and allow it to happen. I love that.
Yeah, just a chance for kids to compete, kids to do something kind of cool and unique. Maybe they never do it again in their lives, but it'd be something. It's something pretty fun. And if you get a 50 or 100 kids doing it, that'd be just awesome. I had one guy who did all 17 events in track. He didn't do them. He cleared opening height in the pole vault. He was a 6'1" high jumper.
Wow.
He ran, gosh, I'm making up here, but he ran a very credible 2 mile. I'm sure he was under 12. So he's like, Coach, you got to make me a decathlete.
If only we could. We had one girl that we wanted to try to get in at nationals for heptathlon, but unfortunately we didn't have the JAV. And then she went out and won the GLIAC indoor and outdoor. And we're like, oh, well, she should have been.
She's at Saginaw Valley right now.
Oh, well, of course she's at Saginaw Valley. She's a heptathlete.
Yeah. So we're like, well, she should have done it at nationals, but here we are, and we didn't do JAV. So,
well, is that it?
Well, unless you want me to give you my hot takes on Gene LeBron, I think that's what I'm going to say.
Well, listen, if we do enough of these, he's going to come back on just to defend himself.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Well, thank you for having me on. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully I don't get in too much trouble, but I would suggest as your next guest, or maybe a guest down the road, that you guys invite Ken Maurice, because he has no end of stories. I've heard them all 5 or 6 times, but he has some truly great stories about track and field in general. Could keep the pod going.
Like we need to have new question. Make sure we write this down. Guest has to suggest a new guest. I like that.
Yes, I like that.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, gentlemen. And
absolutely. Thanks again for asking to be on.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. And again, if you've made it all the way through, which as Colin always says, I don't know why you wouldn't. So I really hope you did. But
hey, I like long podcasts. Okay.
I do too.
I've got hours a week of running to do. Like at some point podcasts became trendy to shorten them, and I don't like that. So
I know I don't either, but so anyway, we appreciate it. As Leo has said, like he is the one, he's the first one who's truly said, I listened to this, and he's reached out. So if you'd like to be on here, please reach out. Clearly we do listen. Leave any comments. We'd like to talk about them. Again, Mitten Athletics Live is brought to you by Mitten Athletic Supply. We are your one-stop shop for all of your track and field needs. Gil, Polanic. If we don't have it, we'll get it. And if we can't get it, we'll at least lead you in the right direction. So please reach out. We'd love to talk to you. And again, thank you very much for joining us for this episode.
Have a great evening, gentlemen.
Yeah.
You too.